The song is called Breath and Taxes, and that's going to be the title of this video. Breath and taxes. All right. What do you breathe? You breathe in oxygen, you put out CO2. All right. So, breath, taxes. They tax everyone to death. The government took in $54 billion in the 6 or 7 days last week to the same time they were debating the budget cuts in order to avert the shutdown and all that garbage. And $54 billion, yeah, I think it's probably a lot higher than that, but we'll go with that number. So they cut 38.5 billion. So basically, they just reduced 4 working days for the federal government because that's what it comes out to. 2.5% of the $1.6 trillion budget, and people, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. They're talking about raising the debt ceiling to $23 trillion. You know, it's so asinine and ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't have any word. It's asinine. You cannot. I mean, okay, the United States government is a corporation. It is the United States Incorporated. If you don't understand that, you need to go back and do some research. Um, Check out Kirwan's articles, Kirwan, on Jeff Rentz's page. He's got a phenomenal group of articles on there about what's going on today and for the last year. Um, I never thought that I would be at this point in my life to where I no longer trust the fact of being able to acquire food from stores in the future. So I am looking at, I'm going to start a chicken farm because they're food. And, you know, that's where it's at. And, you know, everybody needs to sit down and think about this. If you don't have a garden, if you don't have some way to have food for yourself, you are going to be in dire straits. And, you know, other than that, I don't know what to tell you. Um, the dollar is dying. You know, George Soros, they just announced that, you know, the dollar is no longer the world reserve currency. You know, it'd be nice if they asked the people who actually use the dollars if they, you know, would like that. But, you know, it doesn't matter. Gold and silver are the world exchange currency. That's what it's based on. Because when you look at gold, what's it? You know, how do you figure out its value? Federal Reserve notes, you know, or you know, pound sterling, or euros, or yen. Everything go back to gold. What the problem is that the gold market is suppressed. I mean, even at 15, 16, 18, 2,000, $2,500, the gold market has been suppressed. Um, the same with the silver market, but it's even more so. You know, silver realistically should be at $500 an ounce, and gold should be at 10,000. You know, and that's what it needs to be. Um, Taxes. Stop paying taxes. Just stop. You know, the government uses your tax money to kill you, and you know you need to understand that. That's just the way it is. It's a fact, and that's what governments have pretty much always done. They have used the money of the people to go and kill. And if it's not their own people, it's other people because killing is their business and business is good. Now, in their mind, like I said, you know, they need to eliminate 4 billion people off of the planet in order to, you know, well, between 4 and 5.5 billion people in order to create a sustainable culture in their minds. it's asinine. It's just utter stupidity. I don't know how they can expect to have any kind of sane and rational world after the death of, 2/3 of the population of the planet. And besides the fact that the way they're killing us is that they're making the planet a toxic wasteland. I mean, go. This is an interesting exercise. Go and take the EPA Superfund sites, and then go and take all the nuclear reactors, and then take the danger zones around the nuclear reactors, 40 miles or whatever, and then take the dead zones, which are, several thousand of them around the world, or several hundred, or whatever it is. But there's one at the mouth of almost every single major river in the world because of the agrochemicals and Monsanto and GMO foods and everything else. And just literally the medications that we take, we piss out and it goes through and it's not filtered out in the water treatment plants and it ends up in the water supply. That's why otters are hermaphroditic now. That's why fish will be spawning in September and October. The world cannot sustain what the corporations are doing. And is it all corporations? No. Is it most of the corporations? Probably. But you have to realize that most of the corporations are controlled by the same people. So yeah, of course they're going to be doing the same things and working on the same agenda. It's just the way the world works. If you don't understand that, then you need to go back and start doing some research. And I'm not going to say go to school, because school is just a scam. School is just indoctrination to create good little robots. I don't really know where to go with some of this, because there's literally so many things that are involved. I need to. I'm going to start doing a Ustream channel where I'll have like an hour to be able to go on a certain topic, and I'm not sure exactly when that's going to start, but hopefully it'll be soon. So stay tuned for that. I will be tweeting when I'll be going on that, and I guess my buddy is setting up a Facebook page for me, so go and search for Ravana 9000 on Facebook, I guess, or Ravana Town 9 is my YouTube channel, and feel free to leave comments and rate the videos and whatever. The world and the people are in dire straits, and we really need to come together and start thinking about this. I mentioned it the other day, but in Japan, the day after the original earthquake on March 11th, the Yakuza got together, and regardless of what you think about the Yakuza, they do good works. And this is an example right here, is they showed up in the disaster areas with 50 tons of supplies, blankets, food, ramen noodles, rice, you name it, and they didn't ask for any credit. They showed up, they dropped off the supplies, they, hey, how's it going? And they left, and that was it. My hat's off to you. I'll give you credit. You were there faster than the government was. And it's the government's job to provide for the people. And, people have that backwards. It's not our job to provide for the government. It's the government's job to provide for us. And I'm not saying government housing. I'm not saying food stamps. I'm saying it is the government's job to provide the necessary infrastructure for the people to be able to make a decent living and to be able to advance in their chosen professions. And, if you want to be a drug dealer, now I'm not going to advocate heroin, coke, meth, or any of those. I personally smoke weed for my back because I have back problems and I'm on disability for it. Somebody had mentioned to me why even California didn't pass to legalize marijuana last year. Well, part of the reason why it didn't get passed is because there was a backlash going on, because the corporations were trying to basically take over a homegrown industry. And whatever you think about smoking marijuana on a personal basis, I don't believe that it should become a corporate business. I don't believe that Monsanto has any business whatsoever in that business. I don't believe they have any business doing what they're doing right now with the modified seeds. Um, Terminator seeds, asinine. Makes no sense whatsoever except for them to make more money. They should be outlawed. Personally, I think that Monsanto should be the same thing that was done to them as IG Farben. They should be broken up. But I think we should do it in the space of, 5 years instead of, you know, uh, IG Farben, it was finally liquidated in 2008 or 2010. All of the subsidiaries were finally sold off and liquidated. Now, it would be interesting for someone to go through and figure out who bought those different companies. Because I would be willing to bet that the shareholders, let me rephrase that, the controlling shareholders and the controlling partners of those corporations are the same corporations that controlled the original corporations. Because that's the way it works. So, breath and taxes. Yeah. Uh, Stop paying taxes. Stop funding the government to kill you. Because that's what they're doing. Peace. Strength, everybody. V for victory.